Well, at this time, it's my pleasure to be able to introduce our next recipient. And I would put this one in the category of we never knew, or it's a business that we knew very little about. That's one thing that over the years I think we've all come to really enjoy about the occasion is that we bring businesses in, we recognize them for their innovation, for the excellence, for their contributions to Area Code 906 and its economy. And Mohawk Technology is certainly one of those. So it's my pleasure to be able to introduce Mohawk Technology. They were founded in 2013, and they are an automation engineering company headquartered in Mohawk, Michigan, which happens to be up in the Keweenaw. The company's deep ties to the Upper Peninsula date back to mining and logging heydays when Scandinavian ancestors of current employees worked in the Keweenaw Peninsula mines and forests. In a modern economy, Mohawk Technology helps companies keep factories running, increasing production, and manufacturing new products. Today, it's my pleasure to be able to welcome Jay Isaacson, founder and CEO, and Nick Peterson, head of operations at Mohawk Technology. Gentlemen, please come up. Here you go.
So, thank you for having us here today. My name is Tom Isaacson, and I help the company with some of their marketing and also happen to be the older brother of the founder of Mohawk Technology, Jay Isaacson. When we found out that the company was winning this award, we really found it fascinating to look into the background of Operation Action UP, and we started to see some of these ties historically with developing the economy of the Upper Peninsula that had some family ties for us, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. Coming up after some of these other great companies that are winning awards, Jay's been underground at Eagle Mine. Our families have stayed at Mission Point previously when we've gone there to run the turtle runs. And so it's really something where it's neat how the companies of the UP get brought together from a diversity of backgrounds, but we also see some overlap between and among these companies. We've had some business partners close to us win these awards in the past. Calumet Electronics and Mohawk Technologies has worked regularly with REL Machine. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the background of the economic development of this company, where we come from, how we were developed. Jay and Nick will tell us a little bit about how the company has evolved, and of course we're thankful to some of the local area businesses that we work with and maintain relationships with, including Vast Insurance and Tom Snow and some of the others that have helped us out. So I will turn it over to Jay and Nick, and they'll tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, thank you for the award. We appreciate it. So Mohawk Technology, one of the things that's unique about us is we're doing work all over the country, and you could say that we're bringing economic dollars back to the Upper Peninsula. So we're doing work in industries such as a popcorn factory in Minneapolis, cheese plants in California, Idaho, milk plant in Texas, and a lot of our work in Wisconsin, Minnesota, different types of factories. One of the things that was really interesting for me, this was I don't know if anyone recognizes this, but this is an old brochure from Operation Action UP from the 1960s. And I wonder if the founders of this organization could have envisioned a company like Mohawk Technology being able to operate in the Upper Peninsula and bring really good jobs to the area. Pretty fascinating for me to think of this, that the vision of these original founders must have been astounding, before the internet and things like that. I think even for me at the beginning of my career in the early 2000s, I don't think a company like Mohawk Technology could have operated here where we do. So it's pretty interesting. A little bit of history, kind of where we come from, our roots in the Upper Peninsula. Tom mentioned it. Our ancestors, even for me personally, came from Scandinavia. And my grandfather, Oscar Isaacson, he was working in the mines on the Keweenaw, the Cliff Mine in particular, when he was 12 years old. He became an entrepreneur, had his own, lumber operation. He would cut timbers for the mines, at the low grade, and he'd sell those to the mines, and then he would mill the higher grade wood into boards and sell them. So,
Yeah, some other connections, actually. My great-grandfather's on the right there, Gustav Peterson. Kind of an interesting story of him. He started working in the mines with his father when he was 16 years old, but he actually had his leg severed in a skip accident. But he really made the best of it. He actually ended up spending the rest of his life building wooden prosthetics out of the Marquette area here. And in the bottom there, we have the grandfather of another one of our employees, Oscar Karenin. The interesting thing about Oscar is he actually worked in the copper mines in Copper City, which is actually only a couple miles away from our current headquarters. So a lot of connections back to kind of the historical mining days with our employees.
there's a pretty good chance that mining picture is taken underneath where our headquarters sit today. We don't know that for sure, but
That's the rumor.
yeah, certainly could have. So this picture here is our headquarters building being built a few years ago. Pretty unexciting picture. But what was interesting about this is this is in Kewanee County in Mohawk. And at the time this was built, we were working, I actually was there myself one evening, and a man that I've known my whole life, a local resident there, he stopped by. He was actually out for a walk, and it was interesting because he got a little emotional. And he told me, he said, Jay, he said, my entire life, that's all I've seen is buildings tore down in Kewanee County as the mines declined. He said, I believe, and not to discount I think some restaurants and some of the tourist industry, maybe in Copper Harbor and things like that, but what he said, and just a little bit of a gut check, it's pretty accurate. He's never seen a new business built in Kewanee County in his lifetime. He's in his 60s, maybe his 70s now, but so yeah, pretty interesting little history there for us.
So kind of where is Mohawk Technology located? We actually started off in Mohawk, Michigan. That's where our headquarters is, but we've since opened 3 more remote locations and kind of expanded throughout the Midwest. The first location we opened is actually in the Minneapolis area, now located in Delano, Minnesota. That's actually where I'm based out of. That's primarily an engineering office. We then followed it up with our fabrication shop in western Wisconsin, Frederick, and then another second engineering location in northern Minnesota, in Monaga. And really what this allows us to do is tap into a bunch of different talent pools throughout the Midwest and really kind of better serve our customers throughout the area. Mohawk Technology, a little bit more about what we do. We actually started off as an electrical engineering and programming company. We've since evolved to kind of have 2 core groups. The first group is our process group, and what they do is they really focus on sanitary food grade automation systems. So the picture you see here is actually a stainless steel system in a cheddar cheese plant in Iowa. Our second group is our mechatronics group. And this is our newest group, and this group is really focused on robotics and kind of material handling. What you see here is actually the end of a robot arm. You can see all the suction cups on there. That's for picking and placing boxes on a pallet. And this was installed in a feta cheese plant actually in Wisconsin. Another interesting note about this picture, actually, you can see in the background, the roof there, talking about those mining connections. We actually rented space in an old mine building up by our headquarters to actually build and test this system before shipping it out. Where does Mohawk Tech do work? Really all over the U.S., as Jay mentioned, but we kind of bring that revenue back. One interesting customer is actually the very first customer that Mohawk Tech had as a company is Kraft Foods. I think most people recognize that name, but it's actually way out on the West Coast in California. And then a number of years later, that was actually the first project that I did when I signed on here. But Jay's going to talk a little more about our customers here.
Yeah, actually, that Kraft Foods plant, they're the reason I need to leave at around lunchtime today. We're looking at another major expansion for them, a system we've been working on, and we're doing work out there currently, and tomorrow we have a deadline for a system that's due. So pretty interesting right from our beginning. And as our business has evolved, the type of work we're able to do with these plants has evolved. The one down in Texas, pretty interesting one. Volman is actually a farmer, a dairyman, and we built a milk bottling plant for him. So when I say we built it, the physical structure, local construction companies would build, but it's all putting together all the equipment that goes inside of there is what we do. We engineer that, and Volman's today is the official milk of the Dallas Cowboys, so pretty interesting. And then you can see a lot of the other locations where we've worked around the country. It is actually pretty heavy in the Midwest. If you were to put a point on all the plants we've worked at in the Midwest, it would actually fill it up quite a bit more. But another interesting thing with Mohawk Technology, this was a picture taken. We bring all the employees back to Mohawk in the summer we call it our summit. And it really started out with a single engineering capability, electrical controls engineer. And now it's pretty neat to see in this picture you've got a lot of Michigan Tech graduates, but you've also got NMU grads. You've got people who just come out of the local high schools. I shouldn't say just, but the opportunities are there. And those would be the technicians and some of the welders and things like that in the industry or in our business. So we've also, even currently, or even you think of some of our connections to this Marquette area, it could be maybe more on the business side, the legal stuff, the insurance things, and within our business, the marketing, and then also some of the technical programs that NMU has. There's pretty neat to see the connections there and how diverse it's becoming as far as capabilities and utilizing people who have connections to the UP. This is a drone picture of our headquarters. What's interesting about this one is up in the upper right there, you can see in the old Amik number 3 and 4 mine. I believe that was one of the last copper mines operating up on the copper country up there. So where our headquarters building is, there's old mining, old railroad tracks that run right through our property. What we're looking at in our plan this year and into next year, capital expansions. We're building a new shop in Mohawk. It'll be just to the north of our facility there that you see. And then we're also working on building a process shop, our stainless steel welding down in Wisconsin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Jay, your comment about the leaders that, the community and business leaders that ultimately led to the formation, the creation of Operation Action UP is spot on, and I would say to you that Mohawk and the other recipients today are exactly what they were intending to cause to happen over the years that followed. So thank you for the comment.